Oh, Marco Bezzecchi, that's cold tyre. That's cold tyre, Simon. We just saw him, didn't we? What, 90 seconds ago, leaving pit lane. Oh, and this is the big one. That's in Luffield. He's just holding his right knee there, isn't he?
He's taking a bit to get up.
And of course, the yellow flags are going to be out as well, which is going to disrupt the late lap times coming in. I just wonder whether this is the carbon copy of what happened to Morbidelli this morning. Exact same spot, exact same corner. We just saw him leave on that brand new rear tyre. You've talked about it. The wind chill factor, the cool temperatures, how cautious you've got to be on the outlap. And Bezzecchi's been caught out.
Yep, and Matt, the crew chiefs have told me even on the first flying lap, so that's on your second lap, you've got to be careful. It takes another one, like the second flying lap, so third lap on the tyre before you can trust it, you know, because of the cold temperatures.
And look at this. The cream so often tends to rise to the top, doesn't it? And Pecco Bagnaia is now the top man. The first 158 we've seen. That's the best possible news we can see from Marco Bezzecchi. He sort of limps away, but surely this is just going to be cold right-hand side of the tyre. Here he goes, tips it in. Oh, that's a nasty one. That is a vicious one. And who was right behind him, getting a front row seat? The man who had the same crash, not to this extent, not to this severity, was Frankie Morbidelli.
It's closed
right
throttle too, Matt. Look, he closed the throttle, put it on its side in the rear, just let go. And no electronics or anything can save that. You just along for the ride.
That's a proper bone cruncher. No wonder Pablo Nieto is already chewing those fingernails. Much to the relief of Mooney VR46, Bezzecchi maybe just a little bit winded, maybe just a little bit of a dead leg there. There is Marco. They're now just back with his stricken GP22, but so that one hurt. Clearly, you know, these guys, if they're not hurt, they get straight back on their feet and they're rushing to get back for the second bite, but that one stung him.
I think he's going to be all right. He's a bit stunned, but all right, you know, nothing, I think tomorrow he'll be fine.
That was a proper ejector seat though, wasn't it? You're not going to get a better example of a cold tyre rear letting go than what we just saw there. Marco Bezzecchi then sort of rubbing salt into his wound as well. He lost top spot in that melee at the end of this session. Bagnaia now then does lead the way with a 1:58.973. He always finds a way, doesn't he, Bagnaia? So, I mean, absolutely brilliant. What has Luca Marini got late on here? He needs to find something with just over 2 minutes remaining, because Marini at the moment is outside of that top 10. He's 12th. That's more like it from Marini. He's been on the floor as well in this session at the start of it. High-speed run up into Stowe corner. Marini fifth.
There's a few good laps. Obviously, the obvious one is Martin. He's three-quarters away around. Red sectors, everyone. But Zarco, Oliveira, Marc Marquez, they're all on one. So Miller, lots coming in.
Yeah, 59s look like a slow pace now, don't it? Look at Gino Borsoi and Danny Ramagnoli, team manager and crew chief to Jorge Martin. They like what they saw there, didn't they, with that 1:58.854. Just put Martin on top spot. There is Marc Marquez. He got behind Paul Espargaro. Bit of traffic there in that final sector for the 93, but that's got Marquez up into 10th place. Is that 1:59.455 good enough to see the 8-times world champion go directly into that Q2 session? What about Fabio Quartararo? This is a big lap coming in from Quartararo. He needs it because he's down in 13th place at the moment.
And Marc, as you said, already pushed out Marc Marquez.
Yeah, he has. Maverick Vinales then up to 3rd place. That's a pretty good rescue job from Maverick, because he was in the gravel very early on in that tight final sector. No great surprise to see Johan Zarco coming to the fore here. He was the pole man here at the British Grand Prix 1 year ago, and he led the first 4 laps, and we were starting to dream, we were starting to think this is the day that he'll win that elusive first MotoGP race, and then he crashed out of the lead on lap number 4. And unfortunately for Zarco, he is still seeking that first win in the Premier class. Will this weekend be his time?
Matt, pretty much half the people that were in the top 10 before have been pushed down. Look at Bez, he's ending up 6th in the middle of that group, and lucky he did such a good time early on.
Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? How significant that 1:59.018 could be for Bezzecchi. Well, very significant. Of course, he hadn't factored in the fact that he was going to launch himself into orbit with that horrible high side on the cold tyre going through Luffield. Checkered flag is out, and I don't think Bezzecchi will be nudged out of that top 10. Fabio Quartararo then, this is his last flying lap. He comes through the high-speed woodcut section, then through the blind entry. What a corner this is as well in MotoGP. Blind entry, knee and elbow almost on the deck through Copse corner, and then the burst of acceleration to what's going to be one of the best sectors on the calendar, Simon. This flip-flop through Maggots and Beckets is just wonderful.
Beautiful, look, Phillip Island-like, really, really nice. The whole layout, incredible track.
Fabio Quartararo then, how's he getting on? Oliveira, who at one stage, he was up inside that top 4, wasn't he? He needs a big lap here. He's coming towards the back end of his last lap of the session. Taka Nakagami just making sure he gets out of the way. Look at this one, Aleix Espargaro as well on the factory of Aprilia. Espargaro, fastest man in the second sector, fastest man now in the third sector. For the time being, we're going to track the 2021 race winner here, the 2021 world champion. Quartararo then coming into the final sector, deep into the final sector. The short run now to the finish line. Out of the final corner he goes. It's Quartararo heading into that top 10. Over the line he comes. No, he is not. Fabio Quartararo then, again in 2023, finds himself in Q1, punches the tank in frustration. Is Jorge Martino about to be deposed as the top man on Friday here at the British Grand Prix? Over the line he comes. It's P1 and a nod of the head for Aleix Espargaro. That was a stunning last lap here in Silverstone for the brilliant man. A 1:58.183. Aleix Espargaro nearly 7/10 of a second ahead of the field.
Well, he's 1 second faster than he did on his last flying lap. That is, his last time attack, which was only 10 minutes before, not even. That's impressive.
No wonder
really
he was
good.
giving a nod of the head as he came over the line. No wonder he was happy with himself. I think he was just stroking the screen there, wasn't he, to say thank you very much, Aprilia RSGP, because that was some lap time by Aleix Espargaro. This morning, Marco Bezzecchi in the cooler conditions led the way in FP1 with a 2:00.295. So the lap times have dropped by 2 seconds.